8 Can't Wait is a campaign that's become a part of the national conversation surrounding police reform. Renee Cooper joins us in studio now with the details. Renee?
Hi, Nicholas. People across the country are pushing their mayors to implement these 8 policies. Deputy Chief Jason Stugelmeyer tells us the Bismarck Police Department already has the majority of them included in its policy manual. But he says where they don't exist, many of them are realistic requests. As far as the requirement to de-escalate situations, Stugelmeyer says that's police training 101, and it's a part of BPD's use of force policy. But he says one of the policies, which spells out how police should respond to certain situations, isn't realistic.
Just because somebody does A, B is not appropriate. Maybe they do A and nothing's appropriate. So it almost gave the perception that just because somebody does something, let's say passive resistance we call it, you don't necessarily have to do any use of force to get them to comply.
Well, he says the reform that calls for verbal warnings before shooting is something that all of his officers are taught in training. A duty to intervene isn't expressly in BPD policy. If an officer observes unlawful or unethical behavior, they are required to report it, but not necessarily to intervene. The next 8 Can't Wait guideline says to limit the use of strangleholds and chokeholds to situations where deadly force is authorized. Stugelmeyer says BPD's policy is exactly that already.
We've never had to use it. We've never even used it inappropriately, like where an officer used it when it wasn't a deadly force. We've just never used it. But we want to give our officers tools, like if they get themselves in a situation where it is a deadly force encounter and they can't use their firearm.
His only issue was with the requirement to never shoot at moving vehicles. He says it would have to be a deadly force situation. And Nicholas, he adds, there have been incidents of Bismarck police officers being run down by vehicles.
Wow. Okay, Renee, thank you very much. We wrap up another